This will be the last video you will ever need to watch on weight loss if you absorb all of the lessons in today's video. So today is lesson time. I want to make weight loss as simple and easy to understand as possible. So I have come up with a little inverted pyramid system. So hopefully you can just burn that in your brain and understand like the hierarchy of weight loss principles, so that you don't get confused. Let's say somebody says lemon water, apple cider vinegar, do 1 meal a day. How does that fit in? What should I do? Should I try this? Should I try that? I want you to understand how weight loss works, what to do in the principles, which ones are more important than others, so that you can organize your thoughts, organize your meals, organize your life, and decide how you want to lose weight. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it 100 times again. When it comes to weight loss, the most important principle, number one, is always a calorie, I'm writing it as I speak, deficit. So that's why the triangle is inverted, because I want the most important thing to be the thing that is on the top here, and then it will go in descending order of importance. But the only way to lose weight is always a calorie deficit. You cannot lose weight if you are not in a calorie deficit. If you are not losing weight, you are not in a deficit. And now, of course, there are many ways to create a calorie deficit, but the two obvious main ways is through nutrition or through what you eat, and then the other way is through movement or exercise. Now, when you think about nutrition, you can create a deficit through many different pathways in your nutrition. You can do fasting, which could be multi-day fasts. You could just do 1 meal a day. You could do an eating window where you only eat between certain times, thereby excluding some calories because you are only eating in a window, and that's how fasting works. You could do keto, where you exclude a whole macro, and then you create a calorie deficit that way. You could do a balanced diet, which I highly recommend, where you include a range of foods and fruits and vegetables and whole grains and meats, cover all your bases. And then you could do vegan. I mean, you could keep adding on to here. I've just put a few here. You can do vegetarian. You can do 3 meals a day, 2 meals a day. You can experiment with the nutrition side of things and do almost any combination or anything that works for you and your lifestyle to create a calorie deficit. So you can pick any method that you like, and you will lose weight as long as you are in a calorie deficit. The other way is through movement. So running, walking, yoga, dancing, swimming, anything that you do that burns energy. So for example, what I've just done now, moving, talking to you guys, that is neat. And so that will help you create a calorie deficit. The more you move throughout the day, the more active you are, housework, cleaning, these kinds of things, these all contribute to your calorie deficit as well. Just remember, keeping your body alive uses calories. So you just lying in bed, breathing, your heart beating, your brain functioning, every function in your body, that uses up calories. And so you can create more of a deficit through these two. But the best way, like in anything, is to do a combination of both nutrition and movement. So when you want to create a calorie deficit, I highly advise you to do some movement, weight training, running, walking, whatever you enjoy, so that you are not relying solely on your nutrition, because of course, there is only so little you can eat before you feel like you're starving yourself, before you are constantly hungry. So to add to your calorie burn, add in some exercise so that you have more calories that you can eat and enjoy throughout the day. Because if you go too low in calories, that is not good for your brain, for your function, to get in adequate nutrition. And so I've also heard that because you want to keep yourself feeling energized, so activity throughout the day helps you burn more calories so you can eat more, so that you become more of a calorie burning machine. Now, you don't have to go to extremes on either end. Keep your calories within a healthy range for your body weight. Keep your movement to be consistent and doable, so you don't have to go and run marathons in order to lose weight. All you need to do is move a little bit most days of the week, and that is adequate. And then, of course, weight training is very much recommended by me because it keeps your muscles stimulated. It keeps them wanting to grow. Now, you're not going to grow a huge muscle, especially as a woman over 40, but you're going to keep your muscle fibers healthy and working. And you want to do that because your muscles soak up all the carbs, all the sugars, they use up the energy. And if you have a little bit more muscle mass, you'll burn a few more calories than you would if that mass was taken up by fat. It's not a huge difference, but it does help. Everything all adds up. Now, number 2 on the inverted pyramid is your protein. So, number 2 is your protein intake on the inverted pyramid. It is number 2 in importance. So when you are thinking weight loss, as long as you're hitting a calorie deficit, the rest of this, you can do it or not do it, but you will lose weight if you are in a deficit. To help you get to that deficit, this falls under the nutrition side. If you eat enough or adequate protein, so think protein at your 3 main meals, you can even include protein in your snacks. Protein will help you with that because it is the most thermic of all of the macros, meaning that your body burns more energy digesting and assimilating the protein. So 20 to 30% of the calories in protein get automatically used up in the digestion of that protein. So if you have 100 calories of protein or 100 calories of fat, you will use around 20 to 30 calories out of those 100 calories in the protein, just digesting the protein. In the 100 calories of fats, you will use maybe 1 or 2 calories only in the digestion of the fats. So you're getting a net gain of more calories out of the fat calories, and fat is more easily stored as fat, but we'll get to that. So protein really can help you with your weight loss goals. You'll feel fuller for longer. It's very satiating. Now, how much protein, you ask? I'm glad you asked. 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body weight. So 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body weight. So how would that look in real life? If you are, let's say, my weight, I weigh around 52 kilograms. That is about 110 pounds. I'm not doing the math correctly here. Let's say I weighed 110 pounds. I would eat roughly 110 grams of protein to hit my protein target for the day. I always say aim for that. It's easy to remember. It's easy to calculate. In a steak, 100 grams steak, you are getting around about 25 grams of protein. So it's not the weight of the food itself. It's how much protein does that food contain? Because if you cooked a steak and took out all the moisture, what you would be left with would be the raw protein, and that's how you work it out. So you must use, ideally, a food app to help you track these things. You can get used to it, but just enter it into Google. Even that will help you. So you can hit your protein target or goals throughout the day. That will assist you with your weight loss goals. Also, protein, amino acids are the building blocks of everything. Hair, skin, nails, muscles in your body. So you want to get enough amino acids in your diet. And it helps preserve, grow, and maintain your muscle mass. And who doesn't want that? It helps you get that sexy, sort of toned look that most of us are desiring. Number 3 in your inverted triangle for fat loss is fiber. Now, fiber in and of itself, if you just hit your fiber goals, you're not going to lose weight. As always, you still need to be in a calorie deficit. But fiber, for ladies, you want to aim around 20 grams a day of fiber, 20 grams of fiber daily, because it helps with your digestion. It helps keep you healthy and regular. Fiber, when you hit your fiber goals, it reduces your all-cause risk for mortality, keeps you feeling fuller for longer. You're not going to get blood sugar crashes and spikes and then eat the wrong foods. So fiber and protein. If you are looking at your plate and you want something that's going to keep you satiated, it's also healthy for you, it's going to keep your blood sugar levels stable, think fiber and protein. Fiber, protein, fiber, protein. Now again, let me just reiterate. You can not do these things. As long as you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. But for optimal fat loss, you create a calorie deficit, and then within that calorie amount, you aim for your protein. Then you want to aim to hit your fiber goal. Now, of course, carbohydrates are the food group that contain your fiber. So think whole grains, fruits, and vegetables. That's where you are getting your fiber from. And now, number 4 on your inverted triangle, these kind of go together because you are going to fill the remaining calories with fats and carbs in your diet. So you're going to have your protein. Your fiber obviously comes from your carbs because fats don't contain fiber unless you're thinking nuts and avos. So you could sort of think of that. Now your fats and your carbs can be on a sliding scale, meaning you can have a diet that's a bit higher in fats or a diet that's a bit lower in fats and higher in carbs. Now just remember, when I talk about the thermic effect of food, protein uses the most energy for your body to digest and assimilate. So it's got the highest thermic effect. That's what thermic effect means. Your carbs are in the middle, 10 to 15%, somewhere there. And then fats are the least thermic, the most easily stored as fat, which is why I do recommend a diet that is on the lower end of the fat scale and have a few more carbs instead. Your brain runs on glucose. Your brain loves glucose. Your whole body enjoys glucose, but not sugary sugars. I'm talking glucose in the form of whole grains, fruits, and vegetables, the healthy kinds of sugars. And so I would recommend a diet that includes lean protein, enough to hit your protein goals, a diet that includes whole grains, whole foods, fruits and vegetables to hit your fiber. That will ensure that you are getting carbs. If you need a few more carbs, you can have some white rice or some brown bread or potato, sweet potato, things like that. And then you include your fats to fill in the rest of your calories. In general, you can have 30 to 50 grams of fat in a day for ladies. And that is how you construct your diet for fat loss. One of my strongest pieces of advice is, if you are on a weight loss or fat loss journey, don't say, oh, yeah, I'm going to do it, and don't do it. Please track your calories. Find a food tracking app that works for you. MyFitnessPal is great. I've used Fat Secret. You don't have to do it forever, but you will learn so much in the act of entering foods into a food tracking app, seeing how many calories they contain. Often these apps also tell you the fiber content, the hidden fat content. Some of them give you the salt content. So you can actually see what you are putting into your body, and then you can see what you've done for, let's say, the last day or two, and what your weight is doing. And you can have immediate feedback, real world data that is specifically for you. You ate this, now look at the result. And it is such fantastic feedback. It is the best learning you will ever do if you are serious and wanting to lose weight. Now again, I have to say, nobody needs to lose weight, in my humble opinion. You are beautiful and amazing as you are. But if you want weight loss and you want weight loss success, this right here, this is the way to do it. In fact, I've pre-drawn it in a much better, much neater way. So ladies, I want you to remember this. Number 1 on the pyramid, calorie deficit. Number 2, hit your protein goal. Number 3, hit your fiber goal for the day. Fats and carbs can be on a sliding scale. So if you prefer higher fats, go for it. Have some avo, some nuts, olive oil, a bit of cheese, the fat that comes in and on your meat. That's fine. Enjoy. You do you. And again, I have to say it again. Just remember, all of this doesn't work without this for fat loss. So you could hit your fiber goal, but if you are in an excess of calories, even if those calories come from healthy foods like nuts and avos and seeds and whole grains, you will not lose weight. Now, if you overdo the protein, you may still lose weight because protein is so thermic and satiating, and they have done studies where they overfed protein and people still lost weight. So protein is one of those macros where you could overdo it quite a bit and you would be okay. But even so, you could hit your protein goal for the day, but if you are not in a calorie deficit and everything else is off, you won't lose weight. So that is why calorie deficit is at the top of the pyramid. And then in descending order of importance, this is what you have to do. And remember, under the heading of calorie deficit, you have got many paths to weight loss, and movement is what helps you create that deficit. And also the deficit can be created by building muscle, because muscle does burn a few more calories more than fat. So if you were to weigh 50 kilograms and you were more muscular versus 50 kilograms and you were more fatty, the more muscular person would burn slightly more calories throughout the day, thereby creating a slight deficit. So you see how it works. So weight training or building muscle is important on a fat loss journey. It's not the be-all and the end-all. Again, the overarching principle is a calorie deficit. I hope I've explained this well. I hope I've made it simple. Remember, I do sell a comprehensive fat loss guide that's just $2. I've kept it super affordable so that all of you can have it. I also do custom meal plans, custom training plans. I also have a pre-made meal plan that's only $5. I have now created a 4-day vegan, 4-day vegan meal plan for the vegans. I sat there and I worked on it because I really want everyone to be able to achieve their fat loss goals. Let me help you on your journey. I've kept it super affordable. All you need to do is email me. I'll send you a PayPal link or invoice. You pay me and then I email you the meal plan, the training plan, the fat loss guide, whatever it is that you've asked for. So I have made it as easy, as practical, and as doable as possible. I hope that was helpful. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.